Blinky is back with another spooky game, and that game is Wolfchild for your Sega Genesis. So let's go ahead and take Wolfchild. Let's pop it in our Sega Genesis and see how it holds up today. Let's go to the game. Wolfchild was published by JVC and was released in 1993, coming out after the Sega CD version. It is based on the Amiga game of the same name. The manual opens with the following. Dr. Kyle Mauro, the world's foremost authority on biogenetic science, has been kidnapped by the notorious terrorist group Chimera. The leader of Chimera, a confirmed sociopath named Carl Drax, has set out to conquer the world using mutant war machines of the Doctor's own creation. But Drax is unaware that moments after the kidnapping, Mauro's youngest son, Saul, returned from conducting oceanographic research at sea to find his father's lab in ruins, and the entire incident captured on security videotape. At that moment, Saul swore to do everything in his power to avenge his father's abduction and bring down Drax once and for all. But Saul knew he couldn't take on the bloodthirsty Chimerian army alone. Fortunately, Drax's army failed to find Mauro's secret blueprint for the perfect war machine, Project Wolfchild, a half-man, half-beast warrior possessing enormous strength, incredible psychic powers, and immunity to all levels of pain. Saul had no other choice. In order to single-handedly crush his father's captors, he had to activate Project Wolfchild. Wolfchild is an action platformer for one player only. From the options menu, you can select your difficulty from easy, normal, or hard, your number of lives up to 6, perform a sound test, customize your controls, and turn on and off rapid fire for your attack button. For the default controls, you press right or left to move likewise, down to duck, A to punch or shoot, B to jump, and C to use a smart bomb from your limited supply that will damage every enemy on screen. On the top right of your screen is the number of lives you have left, and on the top left is your score and your vitality bar. Your vitality bar starts you in human form, but if you're able to grow it past the human limit, you can use the power of Michael J. Fox to transform into a wolf until the vitality bar falls back down into the base human level area. On the bottom of the screen, you can see the number of smart bombs you have, as well as what weapon you are currently using, and empty black circles that you can fill with letters that you collect throughout the game. If you spell the word bonus, you will earn an extra 20,000 points, and if you spell the word extra, you will earn an extra life. Throughout the game, you can also collect orbs for bonus points, starting with a tiny one for 100 points, going all the way up to 4,000 points for the large gold ones. Some other items you can collect include lightning bolts that will refill some of your health, the EXT, which will extend your vitality bar, an electric wave that represents a temporary shield, a down arrow that serves as a checkpoint for you to go back to if you lose a life, and you can also collect extra smart bombs and different weapons for when you're in wolf mode. When you're in human form, you can only punch, but in wolf mode, you shoot a single fire blast as your default weapon. When you shoot a fire blast, you must wait for it to hit a target or leave the screen before you can shoot another. Some other weapons you can collect in wolf mode include double fire blast, curvy arc blast, large and powerful flamers, homing missiles, zigzagging powerful plasma shots, three-way shots, and boomerang shots. Each of these will come with limited ammo and are automatically used when you get them until you run out of ammo or collect a different weapon. The game contains 7 different levels, which is less than the Sega CD version, and some of the level layouts are different. At the end of most levels is a boss fight, although some boss fights are simply comprised of outlasting a large wave of enemies. If you lose a life, you will either go back to the beginning of that level or to a checkpoint if you pass one. If you lose all of your lives, you are able to use one of your 2 continues. However, you will start back at the very beginning of the level, and your vitality bar will return back to normal length. Graphically speaking, the game looks decent but isn't spectacular. The same can be said for the sound and music, except I did enjoy the wolf cry that accompanies your transformation. Family-friendly wise, the game did not get a rating when it was released, but if it was released today, I could see it getting an E10 and up rating for mild animated violence. At the time of my research on eBay, including shipping, loose copies were going for $20 to $26, and complete copies were selling for $45 to $54. So what did I think of Wolfchild? Personally, I found this to be a very average game. Overall, it controls well. However, I kept wishing that I could do some sort of a high jump, and having to wait for your shot to leave the screen in wolf mode was frustrating at times. From what I understand, you could shoot 2 projectiles on screen at a time in the Sega CD version, which makes me want to try that version out at some point. I also didn't care for the backtracking I had to do at times when I missed a jump and ended up back near the beginning of the level. And I kind of wish there was more checkpoints. And while you do have have a nice sized life bar, there were times when enemies got in some cheap hits, as well as times when I got caught up in a barrage of hits taking several hits at once. The boss battles also didn't do much for me, and I really didn't care for the battles that consisted of simply outlasting a large wave of enemies. I will say that the difficulty was decent, as I was able to complete the game on easy while still feeling a little bit challenged, and I also like how when you put the cartridge into your system, it looked like a wolf was biting down on the cartridge port. I also liked what appeared to be sharks swimming in tanks on some of the levels. If I had known that this game had sharks in it in advance, I may have saved it for episode 550, but unfortunately for me, the negatives outweighed the positives, with my biggest gripe being how weak I felt as the wolf. In human form, I found that the rapid punch could be very powerful, and while I could use powerful weapons in wolf mode, they usually didn't last long, and your basic weapon is pretty weak and takes forever to reload. This seems backwards to me. If you could keep special weapons like in Contra, or if your basic weapon as a wolf was more powerful, that might have helped. But in the end, this turned out to be one of those platformers that I could play through, but it really failed to pull me in that much. So where am I going to rank Wolfchild? This one is going next to another game that didn't do much for me, the classic Afterburner 2 at 21. And since I like platformers more than Afterburner style games, I will give Wolfchild a slight edge. So out of the 32 games I've now ranked on the Sega Genesis, Wolfchild is howling in at the 21 position. If you're looking for an average werewolf-style action platformer on your Sega Genesis, then Wolfchild might be for you. But that's just my opinion. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Also, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on both the Facebook and the Twitter, and check out some of my many other videos. You can also support the show and gain access to exclusive perks by signing up at patreon.com/KnowsWhereGamer, just like Nick did, who helped cover this game in episode 52 of the Genesis Gems podcast. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of the Knows Where Gamer. Take care and beware of cartridges that will eat your system.